touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kusa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. I missed you guys yesterday. I hope y'all missed me too. Okay, anyway, with that all being said, listen, hold on. Before we get started, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Okay, so let's get into it.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and also she has a beard oil for men. Okay, let's get into it. Hello, Emperor Rex. Mel is in the house. Easy is here. All right, we the people. Anita Harrell, Desmond. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you there, Crazy Beach Aries, the Bronze Flat Power God. All right, let's get into it. Nubian Cutie. Leon is here. Okay, so everybody, Andrew is here from the land down under, Pretty Wings. All right, Rod Breeze is in the house. Okay, so let's get into it, beloveds. Let's get into it, honey, because let me tell y'all something. Yesterday, I saw so many videos of people talking about Tamar and Funky Dineva, and I said, you know what? Tamar has clearly lost her mind. She has clearly lost her mind. I mean, at some point, she has to be held accountable for the nefariousness. Hey, Queenie Moni Huey, beloved. Okay, she has to be held accountable. Now, it's just all so crazy. Tamar has sat up here and told these lies. And I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say I absolutely think she's lying. I don't think anything happened to her. I don't think she woke up in a pool of blood. I don't think any of that happened. I think it was all just a PR stunt. That's just what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but then again, remember, I could absolutely be right. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's talk about it. Even though everybody's already talked about it, okay, and we're all probably tired of hearing it. Just for kicks and giggles, let's get into it, okay? Because that's all it's good for is a few laughs. All right, so now with that all being said, this is what Funky Dineva had to say. He said, "You didn't pay anything for me. The sign in the sparkler said Tamar, and I didn't even want to be there." Now, if you missed it, Tamar, Mel said Tamar was not sleepwalking. She's lying. Honey, nobody thinks she's sleepwalking. A sleepwalking disorder is something that usually happens in childhood, and it usually starts in childhood. And even if it develops in your adult life, I'm sure there would be a history of her having done this before. I mean, she's been married for years. You mean tell me she never slept walk when she was with Vince? He never saw her get up in the middle of the night. None of the people she's dated ever saw her get up. JR most recently never saw her get up in the middle of the night. Okay, sleepwalking. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And even if she was sleepwalking, here's the thing: if you fail or had some sort of mishap that occurred to where your 4 teeth are out of your mouth by the root, ma'am, that didn't wake you up. If that didn't wake you up, nothing would. Okay, if that didn't wake you up, nothing would. And she talked about having a fractured nose. Now, we all know that if you break your nose or injure your nose seriously to the point that it's fractured, you're likely going to have a black eye, possibly two, usually two. So the fact that she has no bruising, no swelling, no marks, no scars visible, or any of that leads me to think that she's just lying. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, she said in a video that she did, or in a post that she put up, that she had paid for Funky Dineva's birthday. She actually said that in a video. She said, "Did the person tell you that I paid for their birthday?" I think I'm going to show you that video. I think it's in some of the clips that I have. But she said she paid for his birthday. Well, what did you pay for? Because y'all were at a club. Y'all were at a club, and the signs absolutely did spell out Tamar. It seemed more like it was her birthday than his. Mel says she's being so messy. Isn't she always being messy? And isn't she always being a whole drama queen? That's exactly what she always does. This is nothing new. The whole internet, this is what Miss Funky Dineva says. The whole internet saw the fact that I didn't even want to be there. I hate the club. I was trying to go home. You begged me to come. I'm not the rest of them folks you be with. I pay what I weigh. Every time we go out, I always pull my card out and pay because I never wanted you or anyone else to think I needed or wanted anything from you. You waited or you wanted to go to V12. You drank them people liquor, so you paid for it. Ain't that how it goes? Anyway, I got one implant and the right side of my face was swollen for 4 days. Your whole mouth fell out and your nose caved in, yet here you are making appearances in videos. I love when the lies take care of themselves. Done paid that Spanish lady to lie. Now he's clearly talking about the dentist who came out and vouched for Tamar, trying to make it all make sense, even though she couldn't, because she's no sleepwalking expert. Okay, and if she's a whole dentist, I doubt that she has any knowledge or expertise or even studied anything about the effects of sleepwalking. Okay, but let me continue. You did 4 days in the hospital and had oral surgery to fix all your teeth, and now you are in perfect condition to appear in public with no bruising or swelling? If all that's true, then I'm Britney Spears. Nubia Cutie said, "I think it's all entertaining." Well, of course it is, beloved. That's why we're talking about it, because it is absolutely entertaining. Okay? That's absolutely what it is. Now, the thing of it is, for me, is the fact that Tamar continues to do this dumb stuff, to come to the internet, put all of her business out there, and then get upset when she gets backlash. Okay, let's go to Funky Dineva's next post. This is a hot mess. So in her next act, she's going to start acting like she's about to hurt herself. Well, she's done that before. Okay, Miss Funky Dineva says, "And I must stay one step ahead of you at Tamar Braxton." And then Storm Monroe chimed in and left a comment saying, like she's dying on this hill. Okay, she would never scrape her album than just apologize. And she would rather scrape her album than just apologize and admit she's wrong. Well, here's the thing. She knows darn well she's not going to scrape that album. Now she's come out and said that it was just sarcasm. Vince I am said, Queen, you're a mess going in on Tamar. Well, the reason I'm going in on her is because, darn it, I'm sick and tired of always defending Tamar because she's a Pisces. Okay? Because she's a Pisces. I'd rather try to defend her because I feel like sometimes she's probably misunderstood, or whatever. But at the end of the day, no, Tamar is just toxic. That's what this all proves. I can't even deny it any longer, though I tried to. All right. She is just a toxic human being. Now, look at this foolishness right here that she posted. Mel said, I wonder why she was with Mendici. Was she really with Mendici, or was that part of the publicity stunt? Because I have several questions. We all know that Yandy did the same thing. Now, look at this. This is what she posted. Y'all won. There's no more album, and I'm going to my farm, and you'll never hear from me again. I'm sorry for everything. Honey, if this isn't a cry for attention and out of desperation to be seen, heard, and talked about, I don't know what is. Do y'all see this? I'm sorry for everything. Y'all won. Now, with that being said, here's the comment that she left. Y'all see this? I was being sarcastic. Hashtag heartbreak retrograde. September the 19th. Miss Funky Dineva said, damn, she healed fast. See, this is all just nothing more than she wants attention. And it's just pathetic at this point. Talk about she's going to her farm. Girl, you don't have a farm. Okay, you don't even know how to farm. All right. Easy said, what is Tamar lacking? Common sense. That's what. I'm so glad you asked. She's lacking common sense and critical thinking skills. That's exactly what she's lacking, beloved. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just attention starved. That's what it is. So anyway, now let's go to these foolish videos. Let's go to these videos she posted. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. That crazy beach area said a funny farm, maybe. Okay, that's a good one. I have to absolutely agree. Now let me put an overlay on here because somebody edited this for their own reasons.
And not okay. So I'm not putting it out. Y'all don't want it. I'm a bad person. Y'all don't want remember my music is tired? I was at Northside Hospital. You can call up there and ask them. And I was there for almost 5 days. So I don't know. I don't know what person who doesn't need to be in the hospital be in the hospital for 5 days. I wish I would have known, if I'm being honest. Because I heard that somebody told me that he was showing text, so now I can show a text. And please don't, I blocked you. I don't engage. I'm not going to say your name. Just don't talk about me. I don't want anything else to do with you. You're not my friend. Okay, you don't like me. I'm a muppet. I'm a snagger too. You're right. I'm a snagger too. I have teeth, but I can't chew. Can you imagine how that feels? I'm a muppet. Y'all look like a muppet. I'm a muppet.
Y'all heard this foolishness? Do you all hear this? Dorada said she don't even look like a Braxton. Vince I said, who is that? Listen, do y'all hear this? This is just all so sad and pathetic. She's talking about, I have teeth and can't chew. Can you imagine that? What? Luna said, call the hospital. It's not that serious. Okay, yeah, she said we can call Northside like they're going to tell us. Girl. Luna said Tamar just can't get over that she will never be better than Tony. I actually think that she sings better than Tony. I absolutely think she's the best singer out of the entire family. She's the most talented, but also the most annoying. Okay? Also the most annoying. Easy said, did she have plastic surgery? Did she have bad plastic surgery? Which time? Do you mean currently or past tense, previously? Okay, so anyway, it's just all a hot mess, but let's let her cook.
I'm a Muppet and I like drama, although I was in the hospital. I'm trying to figure out how did I get in drama and I'm in the hospital. Okay. And I can't feel. This is like tingly. That's not. I don't do drugs, but people do drugs. I don't do drugs of any kind. In the hospital.
Okay, let me tell you all something. Tamar just sat up here and said to Funky Dineva, that's who she was talking to. She said, "You blocked me. I don't want to engage. Don't say anything about me. I'm not going to say anything about you." Then she proceeds to talk about it. When she said, "I don't do drugs, other people do drugs," she was talking about Funky Dineva. Who else is she talking about? We already know that. Okay. But at the end of the day, you don't engage, but you're engaging. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want nothing to do with you while talking to him in her video. Make it all make sense. Listen, I'm starting to feel real sorry for Tamar. I really think that she has some serious mental struggles that she's going through, possibly due to childhood trauma. They say that she was assaulted allegedly when she was a child or what have you. So with that all being said, I just hope that she gets the right kind of help that she needs, because this is not it. Now let's go to this last video, and I have to move on because I am so over it.
Me and eat me up. And the truth is, I've been in the hospital. And the people want me to go back to the hospital. I don't want to go. Oh.
Lord. This is so sad.
Very hard. I love drama. So, okay, well, what's the drama? What's the drama that I did? Somebody got to tell me. What is the drama? Tell me.
It's amazing to me that she pretends not to know what the drama is, but girl, you got up, woke up out of a pool of blood, according to you, with 4 missing teeth and a fractured nose, and the first thing that you thought to do was go to the internet and tell us all about it. That's what you decided to do. You said you did it because you were afraid, you were nervous, you were scared, you were alone. How were you alone? Did somebody find you in the pool of blood? Couldn't you have called your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brother? Couldn't you have called somebody, anybody besides us? That's why you're drama, because you bring all your drama and BS to the internet. Okay? This is really getting scary, y'all.
What is the drama? What is the drama? All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. And I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared and I was alone and I was in pain. And that's it. I don't have to lie. I got money. I have success. I don't have to lie about anything. I have allowed this person to bully me and eat me up. And the truth is, I've been in the hospital. But did that person tell you that their birthday party I paid for? So that was a friend. So why what roll out? It was a coincidence. I didn't go to bed and wake up and my life changed.
I was recently contacted by Tamar Braxton's team, who reported a very traumatic injury. She woke up in a pool full of blood and...
Lady, get out of here with your lying self. That lady is straight up lying. So she woke up in a pool full of blood. What kind of pool? Okay, miss me with it. Okay, I'm just so over it at this point. Tamar needs to really get herself together and stop being on this perpetual clout chase of all the time needing attention. Okay, it's just given desperation unknown. With that all being said, let's talk about Diddy for a brief moment before we get into Trump. All right. What Diddy's court victory really means for his future. Legal win provides brief respite from criminal troubles. Okay, so Sean Diddy Combs secured a significant legal victory this week when a New York City judge dismissed an sexual assault lawsuit against him. Okay, but the ruling may provide only temporary respite as the entertainment mogul faces mounting criminal charges that threaten his empire and freedom. The dismissal, based on statute of limitations technicalities, represents a rare bright spot in an otherwise turbulent legal landscape for the Bad Boy Records founder, whose career has been overshadowed by escalating legal troubles that could fundamentally alter his legacy in the music industry. Now, the lawsuit originated in February when an anonymous plaintiff identified as John Doe accused Combs of rugging and sexually assaulting him during a Los Angeles after party. The alleged incident occurred when the accuser was promised recording opportunities and studio time with the music mogul, creating what the plaintiff described as a vulnerable situation that Combs allegedly exploited. New York County Supreme Court Judge Leslie A. Stroth ruled on August that the lawsuit exceeded the 5-year statute of limitations that governed sexual assault claims in New York during the alleged incident. Although state legislators extended the limitations period to years in recent reforms, the judge determined these changes could not be applied retroactively, rendering the current lawsuit invalid under existing legal frameworks. So the ruling highlights how procedural legal barriers can shield defendants from accountability in sexual assault cases, where victims often require extended periods to process trauma before pursuing formal legal action. This dynamic has sparked ongoing debates about the adequacy of current limitation periods for addressing such sensitive allegations. Attorney Tony Busby, representing the dismissed plaintiff, immediately announced intentions to refile the case in California, where different statutes of limitations may provide more favorable legal ground. Busby characterized the New York dismissal as merely a procedural setback rather than a substantive victory for Combs, emphasizing that the underlying allegations remain unsolved. Now, the planned California filing demonstrates how forum shopping has become increasingly common in high-profile misconduct cases as attorneys seek jurisdictions with more victim-friendly legal frameworks. California's evolving approach to sexual assault, the cases, includes extended filing periods and enhanced protection for accusers. Now, while Combs' legal team may celebrate the lawsuit dismissal, far more serious federal criminal charges represent a greater existential threat to his freedom and business empire. Currently detained at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since September, the entertainment executive awaits sentencing on transportation charges related to prostitution activities. Federal prosecutors initially pursued more severe allegations, including trafficking and racketeering charges that could have resulted in decades of imprisonment. However, a jury acquitted Combs on these more serious counts, leaving him to face sentencing on October for the remaining charges. The federal case marks a dramatic reversal of fortune for an entrepreneur who built a multimedia empire spanning music, fashion, and spirits. From launching careers of legendary artists to creating successful business ventures, Combs transformed himself from Harlem talent scout into a global entertainment mogul. Now, Combs' legal troubles extend beyond personal consequences, potentially reshaping how the entertainment industry addresses misconduct allegations. His situation arrives amid broader cultural conversations about power dynamics, consent, and accountability that have transformed multiple industries following various high-profile scandals. The music business, historically criticized for enabling predatory behavior through informal power structures, faces renewed scrutiny as influential figures confront legal consequences for alleged misconduct. Combs' case parallels situations involving other entertainment executives who allegedly leveraged industry influence to exploit aspiring artists and employees. Legal experts caution against interpreting the lawsuit dismissal as meaningful exoneration or substantive vindication. Statute of limitations rulings address procedural timing requirements rather than underlying factual allegations, leaving fundamental questions about alleged conduct unresolved while potentially denying victims legal recourse. Basically, they're saying, listen, don't worry about it. It's not like he got a big win here. The bottom line is, it was just because of the time constraints, okay, because of the statute of limitations. This doesn't say that he was guilty or innocent. Okay, but we do know that many of these lawsuits were in fact frivolous and just all money grabs, in my opinion. Now, with that all being said, the decision underscores ongoing policy debates about extending limitation periods for sexual assault cases, with advocates arguing that trauma's psychological impact often delays disclosure beyond arbitrary legal deadlines. Recent legislative reforms reflect growing recognition of these dynamics, although their non-retroactive application limits protective scope. Here's the thing. I just feel like this. If someone else assaults you, you need to report it right away. You shouldn't get to wait 10 and 20 years to come out with your problems, talking about somebody did this, that, and the third. And I don't care what anybody says. That's how I feel about it. Okay? Because at that time, there's less evidence. I'm sure people's memories have faded. And you could just be flat out lying for all we know. If you really want justice, go to the police and then file a civil case. And also go right away. Don't wait around. What are you waiting for? If you're scared, then why aren't you scared now when you decide to file it? It makes no sense to me. Now, I don't care what anyone says. All these victim advocates who are out here talking about, oh, you can't tell a victim when they can report stuff or when they should report stuff. Yes, I can. I'm telling them that if you're a victim of assault or anything else pertaining to rape or anything else, you should report it right away. Okay, the more time you waste, the harder it is for you to prove your case. All right? The harder it is for you to prove your case, and the more likely people are going to be to assume that you're lying and you just want money. Especially if you don't file criminal charges and go to the police, you just go to a lawyer. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, take it or leave it. Now, that all being said, let's continue. So Trump, and here's the thing. Let me say this. There's a whole lot of these celebrities, not just Diddy, that are into a whole bunch of freaky deaky stuff that they don't want talked about or disclosed. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. The freak offs is one thing that Diddy was having, but there are some people that do even worse than that. Okay, these people out here buying whole snuff films. If you don't know what snuff films are, go look it up. There's rich, elite, powerful people with money that are paying up to $40,000 and then some for these things. This is murder. Now, why aren't the prosecutors going after these people? Because they know they exist. They've made movies about it. Okay, please pay attention. You can look it all up. At the end of the day, how come these people aren't being arrested and brought before the courts? I'd like to know. Okay? Let's not just sit here and act like, oh, it's just Diddy doing this. But at the end of the day, there's people doing far worse. And these people are not just in the music industry. They're in Hollywood. They're in law enforcement. They're in the FBI and government entities alike. And at the end of the day, they're politicians. Okay? Now, with that all being said, yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. And some of this stuff is just freaky, but some of it is absolutely criminal. Some of this stuff is absolutely criminal. Okay? What about all these men saying they've been asked to do certain things, and when they wouldn't do them, then they didn't get roles and parts? Terrence Howard is one of the people who said that. Okay? So it's a whole lot of gatekeeping going on. And a lot of these secret societies are just absolutely so nefarious. I'm sure you can even imagine the depths of depravity of the things that some of them engage in. We're going to talk about it later this week, so please pay attention. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about Trump's no good self. Okay? The Chicago mayor had some words for him. Chicago mayor signs order to resist potential Trump crackdown. The mayor of Chicago has signed an order detailing how the city will resist a potential immigration crackdown threatened by the Trump administration. Says, we do not need nor want an unconstitutional and illegal military occupation of our city. That's what Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's a Democrat, by the way, that's what he said. The order directs city agencies on how to respond to possible immigration enforcement actions. Now, Trump has already deployed 2,000 troops, approximately, in Washington, D.C., and has threatened to extend the order to Chicago, which he says is a mess. Now, there are also reports the administration is planning to surge the number of federal immigration agents in the city. A White House spokeswoman described the order as a publicity stunt. Now, the order is the latest chapter in an escalating feud between the White House and the state and local officials in Illinois over violent crime and immigration. It demands that Trump and federal agents stand down from any attempts to deploy the U.S. Armed Forces in the city. The order also restates a number of existing city policies, including requirements that law enforcement officers wear body cameras and identifying information, and a ban on wearing masks. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, those officers have been sharply criticized in other cities for concealing their identities, and they should not be allowed to conceal their identities. They should have to show their faces. Okay? They should have to show their faces so they cannot be identified if they do anything that's underhanded or corrupt. And also, so people know that they're real officers. Okay, anybody could just come up with a mask on, or, covering their face, or just do anything or whatever. They're not identifying themselves. This is all crazy, and somebody's really going to get hurt. Johnson said city officials would help residents understand their rights if they encounter immigration enforcement, while ruling out allowing local officers to participate in joint patrols with federal agents. Local officials say more than 1 in 5 Chicago residents is an immigrant, with more than half coming from Latin American countries. It is unclear how many are living in the city without official documentation. Trump, a Republican, has said America's third largest city is a killing field, arguing crime in the city constitutes an emergency. His threats to deploy the National Guard have been described as an abuse of power by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, saying Donald Trump is attempting to manufacture a crisis, politicize Americans who serve in uniform, and continue abusing his power to distract from the pain he's causing working families. That's what Pritzker said. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said officials in Chicago were making fighting crime a partisan issue, saying if these Democrats focused on fixing crime in their own cities instead of doing publicity stunts to criticize the president, their communities would be much safer. Is that what you think? Sit down somewhere. Okay? Sit down somewhere. D. Major Scaling said, I stand by Major Johnson with every fiber of my being, okay? Trump's an idiot. Trump's an idiot. Whoever thinks Trump's doing a good job, well, I hate to say it, but you're an idiot too. Trump slams Pritzker on Chicago crime. Governors reported weight loss fuels 2028 speculation. And plump, robust, fat. Is that what he's saying? Trump, you're the last one who should be talking about anybody specifically in the area or department of looks. Okay? This is a man who looks like he has a squirrel sitting on top of his head. President Donald Trump is intensifying his feud with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker after another bloody weekend in Chicago, blasting the Democrat for rejecting federal help as 6 people were killed and more than 24 shot. In a fiery Truth Social post Saturday, Trump called Pritzker incompetent and warned the governor to straighten it out fast or we're coming. The broadside came just weeks after Trump signed sweeping executive actions to restore law and order in Washington, D.C., federalizing the Metropolitan Police and mobilizing the National Guard in the nation's capital. Now Trump is warning Chicago could be next and pointing out that even Pritzker's recent weight loss looks like a telltale sign of a possible 2028 presidential run. Do y'all hear this idiot? Oh my gosh, is he serious? Anyway, Trump also mocked Pritzker personally earlier in the week, saying he ought to spend more time in the gym, actually. 6 people were killed and 24 were shot in Chicago last weekend. And J.B. Pritzker, the weak and pathetic governor of Illinois, just said that he doesn't need help in preventing crime. That's what Donald J. wrote on Truth Social. He is crazy. He better straighten it out fast or we're coming. I'm sure they're scared, Trump. Okay, I'm sure they're scared, shaking in their boots. Pritzker is pushing back hard, calling Trump's approach unconstitutional and a dangerous power grab. He also mocked Trump's personal attacks on his physique, quipping that it takes one to know one on the weight question. Republican strategist Mark McKinnon told Politico Pritzker's slimmer look looks like he's getting ready for a fight. While consultant David Kochel noted weight loss is increasingly part of a political makeover. If you want to look younger and healthier, it makes total sense. First of all, why are we talking about this man's weight? Figures like Chris Christie and Mike Pompeo have also shed pounds before mounting national campaigns. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signed a sweeping executive order Friday rejecting Trump's threat to deploy federal troops or the National Guard, saying we do not need or want an unconstitutional and illegal military occupation of our city, vowing that Chicago would do everything in our power to defend our democracy and protect our communities. The feud benefits both men politically. They say Trump seizes on Chicago as a symbol of democratic failure and bolsters his law and order brand with executive muscle, while Pritzker gets to portray himself as standing up to a president he calls a bully. Behind the two men's political theater, Chicago has led the nation in total homicides for 13 years straight, according to the White House. Well, Chicago does have a lot of crime going on, as far as I'm concerned. But at the end of the day, Trump needs to do what the governor is asking him to do and the mayor, because they run the city. Okay, they run the streets. So anyway, now let's talk about this fool, because Trump is setting up this whole little scheme. He's setting up this whole scheme so he can rig midterms, is what the Democrats are saying. Michael says, we are the laughingstock of the world with number 47 as our president. He's our president, exclamation. Yeah, I guess we are, huh? D. Major Skellin says, for all the folks acting like they're high and mighty, this isn't about just one group of people. This is about the Constitution of the United States and people's constitutional rights. Exactly. Exactly. Mel said Trump is a bully. Yeah, he absolutely is with his stupid self. Okay, but he's not bullying Putin. That's what he's not doing. Okay, he's scared of Putin. He's trying to rig the midterms. Trump intervenes to protect his allies in Congress. With elections next year, the president is pushing extraordinary measures to ensure GOP maintains control of legislature. So they are more than a year away, a lifetime in today's fast and furious political cycle. But one man is already paying attention, pulling the levers of power and trying to tip the scales of the 2026 midterm elections. Donald Trump has made it clear that he's willing to bring the full weight of the White House to bear to prevent his Republican Party losing control of the U.S. Congress in the midterm elections next year. Orchestrated a more direct and legally dubious intervention than any of his predecessors. The U.S. president's multi-pronged approach includes redrawing congressional district maps, seeking to purge voter rolls, taking aim at mail-in voting and voting machines, and ordering the Justice Department to investigate Democrats' prime fundraising tool. Saying nobody's ever tried to do this. This is what Elaine Carmark, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution think tank in Washington, saying most American presidents, Democratic or Republican, have basically played by the same rules and been careful of the Constitution. But in his business career, Trump never cared about whether he was doing something legal or not. He just went to court, and the same thing here. Campaigning, not governing, has often been Trump's comfort zone. He is constitutionally barred from running for president again, but already has an eye on the November 2026 elections that will determine control of the House of Representatives and Senate. He senses that law and order, a populist cause long exploited by Republicans, could play to his advantage. Earlier this month, Trump deployed the National Guard to reduce crime in Washington, D.C., and threatened similar federal interventions in other big cities. 53% of the public approve of how he's handling crime, okay, according to AP North poll, okay, higher than other issues. Trump told a cabinet meeting this week, he says, I think crime will be the big subject of the midterms and will be the big subject of the next election. I think it's going to be a big, big subject for the midterms. And I think the Republicans are going to do really well. This is what y'all's president said. But this is no ordinary campaign. Trump said at the same marathon meeting, he says, I have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. Do you all hear this? This is really what this idiot thinks. Mel said Trump is in for a rude awakening. Okay, this is really what he thinks, that he should and could be able to do whatever he wants because he's the president. What a complete and utter idiot. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, taking a familiar political maneuver to new extremes, he has pushed Republican state legislators in Texas to redraw their congressional map because he claims we're entitled to 5 more seats. And he's lobbying other red states, including Indiana and Missouri, to take similar steps to pad the margin even more. Now, other steps involve the direct use of official presidential power in ways that have no modern precedent. He ordered his Justice Department to investigate Act Blue, an online portal that raised hundreds of millions of dollars in small dollar donations for Democratic candidates over 2 decades. Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all remember Act Blue? Do y'all remember when you first heard about Act Blue? Yeah, y'all can go ahead and say it. Y'all remember you heard it here first. Remember in 2021, February of 2021, when I exposed how Black Lives Matter was gathering up all those coins, $90 million in 2020, and only gave $500 of it to the families of victims and kept all the rest for themselves, started buying mansions and all kinds of things. At the end of the day, I told you all, I showed it on the screen, how I traced all of the money going to Act Blue. Okay, which was traced back also to George Soros. I showed you how they donate money to the Democrats. The 2 biggest Democratic vendors were Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. Okay, I know y'all remember that. Now, with that all being said, see, because I do real work for the community, okay? I find these things out for y'all to give y'all some real information that you need to know, not just juicy gossip, because we don't even really need to know about that. Okay, so with that all being said, other steps involve the direct use of official presidential power in ways that have no modern precedent. Now, the site has been so successful, you know, and here's the thing. He says Democrats need to grow a spine. They need to stop playing not to lose. Okay? I'm sorry, that's what Alan Lichtman of the American University in Washington said. The site has been so successful that Republicans launched a similar venture called Win Red. But Trump did not order a federal investigation into Win Red. Trump's appointee at the Justice Department, they have also demanded voting data from at least 19 states in an apparent attempt to look for ineligible voters. Earlier this year, he signed an executive order seeking documented proof of citizenship to register to vote. Among other changes, though, much of it has been blocked by courts because it's all unconstitutional and ridiculous. Last week, the president announced that lawyers were drafting an executive order to end mail-in balloting, a method used by nearly 1 in 3 Americans, and threatened to do away with voting machines. He claimed that the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, told him mail-in voting was responsible for his 2020 election loss. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? He said Putin told him that. See, this is the thing. This is why Putin is so nice to this fool. Putin is playing Trump like a fiddle, and he always has been, and he knows that he can do so because Trump's so stupid. Okay, it doesn't take much to fool him. He's already an idiot. With that all being said, Putin is sitting here putting all this stuff in his ear because Putin wants to keep Trump in office as long as possible so he can keep running stuff. And by him, I mean Putin, not Trump. Now, there is nothing remarkable about a sitting president campaigning for his own party in the midterms and trying to bolster incumbents by steering projects and support to their districts. But Trump's actions constitute a unique attempt to interfere in a critical election before it is even held.
raising alarms about the future of democracy. Alan Lichtman, a distinguished history professor at American University in Washington, said, "We're seeing a new concerted assault on free and fair elections, hearkening back to the discredited efforts of the white supremacists and the Jim Crow South. He's trying to rig the midterms and then, of course, beyond that, the next presidential election in his own political favor." Trump previously attempted to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, which culminated in the insurrection by his supporters at the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th of 2021. On that occasion, he was constrained by elected Republicans, such as his then Vice President Mike Pence and the Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. This time, he has locked down near total loyalty from the party and assembled a cabinet that again this week offered an ostentatious display of fealty. Now, his power grab will not go entirely unchallenged. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, signed legislation that will allow voters to decide in November on a redrawn congressional map designed to help Democrats win 5 more House seats next year, neutralizing Republicans' gerrymandering in Texas. But Democrats, activists, and lawyers will have to find other ways to fight fire with fire when it comes to Trump's more extreme meddling. Lichtman, author of a new book, Conservative to the Core, said that Republicans have no principles. Democrats have no spines. Democrats need to grow a spine. They need to stop playing, not to lose. That's a sure way to lose. They need to respond to these outrageous powerfully and aggressively, but by whatever means are possible, or we're going to lose our democracy. Yet while Trump's gambit is a flex of executive power, it could also be seen as an admission of potential weakness. The incumbent president's party typically loses seats in midterm elections. In 2018, Democrats won enough to take back the House, stymieing Trump's agenda and leading to his impeachment. Only 37% of voters approve of the way Trump is handling his job as president, according to Quinnipiac University national poll released on Wednesday, while 55% disapprove. House Republicans, who currently have just a 3-seat margin, have faced a series of raucous town halls that bode ill for their fortunes. So what do you all think about this? What do you all think about this? Trump's doing everything he can. Okay, Mel says Trump knows they're going to lose. That's why he's trying to redistrict the maps in Black communities. Vince I am says, how can you have free and fair elections with voter suppression, electoral college, lobbying, etc.? Exactly. And I have to agree with Lichtman because the Democrats are not doing anything. Okay, they're just sitting back quiet, not really doing anything except complaining amongst themselves, but not doing anything to stop Trump, which is exactly what they need to be doing. Okay, this man is he's just doing the most. The Trump administration's campaign to undermine the next election. In 2020, 2022, and 2024, our nation held federal elections. Despite the pandemic, threats of violence, denial of results, and extraordinary pressure, these are secure and accurate. Election officials worked together across party lines, and the system held. This year, however, a new threat to free and fair elections has emerged: the federal government itself. The Trump administration has launched a concerted drive to undermine American elections. These moves are unprecedented and in some cases even illegal. They began with the pardon of the January 6th defendants who sought to overturn the 2020 results. They include affirmative attacks on democratic institutions, the repeal and withdrawal of voter protections, and the symbolic or demonstrative moves. A clear pattern suggests a growing effort. As the 2026 midterms approach, that effort will likely gather momentum. These resources offer the first chronicle of the Trump administration's actions this year to undermine election integrity. And here's what they include: attempting to rewrite election rules to burden voters and usurp control of election systems, targeting or threatening to target election officials and others who keep elections free and fair, supporting people who undermine election administration, and retreating from the federal government's role of protecting voters and the election process. Why do we conclude this represents a concerted strategy? Among other things, President Trump tried to do this before. He was the first president to try to overturn the results of a presidential election and use federal power to do so. Institutions and key officials blocked him. These internal checks, however, are now gone, and many public officials will likely carry out the president's will. This campaign to undermine elections runs afoul of the U.S. Constitution. Only Congress and the states that set election rules. Now, the executive branch, especially the Department of Justice, is charged with enforcing federal laws. But neither the president nor the DOJ has the authority to set rules governing elections or to supervise the state and local officials who run them. To be sure, previous elections were marred by rules and practices that hindered full participation. Restrictive voting laws, some of which had already been ruled unconstitutional, skewed maps and bomb threats at polling places impeded the freedom to vote. Federal officials had an important role in countering disinformation and combating racial discrimination. This federal protection for fair elections may no longer even exist. This is unprecedented. A federal push will place new pressure on American elections and will require vigilance and actions from those determined to defend the integrity of the vote. Okay, so what do y'all have to say about it? Luna says shredded ballots found in the trash. I have questions. All right. So Sister says, I guess the complacent major better take to the streets because Black folks are done helping them get all kinds of rights. We are standing down. Forever save your own democracy. You know, a lot of this stuff that Trump is doing is actually working for him, not for us. Like, for example, him sending troops to Washington and now threatening to send them to Chicago and all of that, all these things that he's doing. This has clearly gotten people so far away from the Epstein debacle. Have y'all noticed? Nobody's talking about it. It's gotten everybody away from it, just what he planned and wished. Okay, nobody's talking about whether or not he's going to give Ghislaine Maxwell the pardon or not. Is he going to give Diddy a pardon? I don't know, but there's reports that there's been meetings at Mar-a-Lago. There's been reportings of meetings at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, so let's talk about it. See, what Trump doesn't do anything based on whether or not it's right or wrong, whether or not it's legal or illegal. Trump does everything based on the fact of how it's going to affect him. If it's going to benefit him, that's when he does a thing. Okay? Even when he was talking about, bringing peace, negotiating peace over there in Africa and all that stuff, he's just doing that because he wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He doesn't care about them people over there committing genocide amongst themselves. He doesn't care. He never has. Okay? This is all about what's going to happen for him, how he's going to benefit from it. Trump couldn't care less. And as it pertains to him pardoning Diddy, same thing. If he's going to get something out of it, like if he thinks that's going to help Black people vote for him, then he'll definitely do it. Okay? Then he'll definitely do it. But if he thinks he's not going to get anything out of it, there's no reward in it for him, then he's not going to do it. Trump does not have any morals. He does not have any ethics. Okay? He does not care about what's right, wrong. He doesn't care about any of that. Legal or illegal, it matters not to him. Okay? It honestly doesn't. Mel said Trump doesn't care about us in America. He doesn't even care about America, honey, to be honest. So anyway, goes on to say Trump has issued several high-profile pardons since returning to office, including clemency for January 6 defendants. Legal experts say his approach has largely bypassed the traditional review process. Now, Mark Ulcer, a clemency attorney and lawyer at the University of St. Thomas, explained that in past administrations, lawyers filed forms with the Department of Justice's pardon attorney, and applications went through multiple review levels. They say the mechanism is falling apart. It's fair to say many people are confused about how the process even works at this point. Well, because Trump does whatever he wants. He doesn't go by the regular policies or the rules. He does whatever he wants when he wants to. And it seems like nobody's trying to stop him thus far. Now, with Trump increasingly acting independently on pardons, attorneys often target his inner circle. Ulster told Billboard that some people are filling out the form, some people are trying to appeal directly to Alice Marie Johnson, some people are trying to talk to Trump and Mar-a-Lago, and some people are trying to get on Fox News to pitch their case. It's hard to tell what will work and for who. He added that people are spending a lot of money trying to get in front of the right people to be considered. Legal analysts note two main avenues for Trump to act. A presidential pardon will erase Diddy's convictions, while a commutation will eliminate his prison sentence without cleaning his record. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Is he going to actually pardon Diddy because then the crimes go away, his whole record or whatever, the convictions, none of that will any longer exist? Or will he just commute his sentence and then he'll still have the convictions? He just won't do the prison time. So Jane Ann Murray, a clemency lawyer and law professor at the University of Minnesota, said the Mann Act, under which Diddy was convicted, is rarely used today. It comes out of a puritanical era, and its enforcement was driven by sexist and racist assumptions. She added that since Diddy was acquitted of the higher level charges, it's almost inconceivable that any resolution of the case would have involved a custodial sentence. Despite these arguments, the path remains uncertain. Also noted that historically, sex crimes have been kind of the third rail of clemency. Almost never have you seen grants for them. Trump's team would also need to weigh potential political fallout, given the scrutiny surrounding both Diddy's trial and the former president's previous associations. And by that, they're definitely talking about Epstein. Okay, they're definitely talking about Epstein. Would people like Diddy even care about a record, says Normer? Probably not. Probably not, beloved. It's not like he's going to have to go apply for a job, or whatever. So with that all being said, hold on, let me look at some of these comments. Mel said Trump is a pure racist. Soul Sister said complacent majority rise up. We the people said, I think the black major in Chicago going to need security after they vote him out. What makes you think they're going to vote him out, beloved? I think he's doing a great job. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. That's the news for now. Trump's still, just doing too much. The Democrats are letting him get away with it. Nobody's doing anything but complaining. At the end of the day, he's trying to steal the midterms before they even get started. Okay. Trying to garner more seats for the Republicans. No more mail-in ballots is what he wants. Yeah, this is all real crazy. But, I don't think he's going to get his way. I really don't. Andrew says, why is it taking so long to sentence him? Well, Diddy's sentencing is scheduled for October the 3rd, beloved. That's the initial time that it was scheduled. Keep in mind, they have to go look over the PSR report, for the probation office. They have to look over that and other things they have to do. Okay? Vince Am said, where's the Epstein's list? Trump's hoping you don't ask. Okay, he's hoping you don't ask. Hold on, let me show you all something before I leave, before I conclude the broadcast. Hold on. There was one more thing I wanted to show you all. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Where is that video? There was a video I wanted to show you all where this lady, I must not have sent it to my email. I'll have to show it to you all later. But there's a video of this lady. Her daughter went to school, the first week of school, and she got jumped. And they literally ripped her hair out by the roots. Okay, the girl's a teenager. It was just all so absolutely crazy. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. I'm going to share my screen. This is so sad. D Major Scale says Alligator Alcatraz is closing down. Honey, it should have been. Okay, they know, listen, they know there was nothing they could do with that. They know it was just beyond dilapidated, beloved. Beyond dilapidated. Who was Trump going to send there? Who did he think he was going to send there with his ignorant self? Okay? I mean, at the end of the day, there was no salvaging it. Hold on, beloveds. I mean, Trump thought he was going to be able to try to fix it up and all of that, but there was nothing he could do. Okay, they said it was going to cost like that they would lose $218 million. Okay? $218 million. That's crazy. Alligator Alcatraz. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. And D Major, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings.
Because this right here, I'm a pissed mama right now. I am pissed that somebody's sitting up here bothering my child. And I try to teach my kids to go to school, get your education. Don't worry about nothing. Keep y'all hands to yourself. Don't bother nobody. Stay out of harm's way. And y'all don't put y'all hands on the wrong child. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know who it is. I don't know who parent this is, but I know you're going to see this video, and this video is going to be very reaching. But I promise you, y'all better tell y'all kids to keep their hands to themselves. Y'all.
Do y'all see that? I'm talking about snatched, bald-headed. Do y'all see that? Wow. That is vicious.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all one last update. Due to the fact that this situation has, like I say, has been unbearable. It's just a whole lot going on. It's a whole lot of he say, she say that's going on. I can only give what was told to me, and I'm gonna share everything with you. So basically, this whole situation occurred due to the girl wanting to fight my daughter for this boy that my daughter was walking with in school. The boy that she was walking with was the boyfriend of the girl that she was fighting. Wednesday, when she got to school, she had already reported to me that, you know, this girl want to fight me. If she touched me, I'm gonna take it there. And I'm trying to calm her down. I'm trying to talk sense into her. I'm trying to let her know, like, don't worry about it. Don't bother. Don't follow it up. Go report it to somebody. This situation was already trying to occur right when she got to school Wednesday morning. So when she got off the bus yesterday morning, it was already mentioned to her from other students that was instigating, from another parent stating that other kids had instigated the situation. Because they instigated the situation, they was already alerting my daughter that these girls was coming to find her. Now, according to the other party, the mother stated that my daughter initiated this incident. My thing is, I don't even know if that's true or not, because, all right, y'all, so I'm gonna give y'all one last update. Due to that's true or not, because she's saying one thing and my daughter saying something different. So it's kind of like I'm in between, trying to listen to my daughter and trying to listen to the other party that's already heated. And that my daughter swung on her daughter first. My daughter and her was having a fair fight. There was never no jumping. The videos that I was sent showed something totally different. So all yesterday I had been receiving messages from other parents that kids go to the school stating that they have like this group chat with these kids in it, and I guess they get these little group chats and they arguing. They just going back and forth, and they already had initiated that these girls had wanted to go fight my daughter. At this point, I'm assuming everybody is already riled up and ready to fight, because they already have this group chat going on. So of course, one thing led to another. They ended up fighting. Like I say, the video I saw, other kids was jumping in. From my understanding, from what I heard, another student, I think one student got 5 days, another student was expelled, and I'm not sure what happened to the other student. Now, pertaining to my daughter, because she has ADHD, she was under a contract with the school prior to her coming back to school, and she was not to get in no trouble whatsoever, which was why they had already had her paperwork written up by the time I got there. which state student wasn't, that's true or not, because she's saying one thing and my daughter saying something different. So it's kind of like included in the altercation with the female student, the student violated her contract. So because she violated her contract, a lot of people was asking why was she going back to the alternative school, and that is pretty much why. That's how the system goes. And we also have a upcoming manifestation determination meeting going to be held on Tuesday, which I'm already going to know that they're going to probably place her back into the alternative school and going to say that her disability was not the cause of the situation. But that's all based upon, you know, the people that do come in and join the meeting. Also, to my understanding, there has been a lot of back and forth over the internet between both parties. So me trying to be the bigger adult, trying to be the civilized adult in the situation. Once it got reported to me, I mentioned to my daughter, leave the social media alone. Don't respond to nobody. You know, she's something like, Mom, she's saying stuff, she's doing this, ignore it, leave it alone. It's gonna be like that. Just leave it alone, ignore it, don't respond to anything. There was also some posts that she made that I made her take down. So mind you, I never knew who the parents was of the situation, never knew who the little girl was. So last night around 10:30, almost 11 o'clock last night, I got a call where I got an inbox from somebody that messaged me and say, hey, call me. This is included in the altercation with the female student. The student violated her contract. So because she's retaining your daughter. So when we get on the phone, she explained to me who the dad was of the little girl. I knew the dad. So around that time, the little girl that my daughter was in altercation with, her aunt made a post. Her aunt made a post pretty much stating their side of the story. So of course, you know, I'm responding. I'm like, you know, y'all ain't telling me nothing. Y'all can come and talk to me. Like, to me, we end up trying to figure the whole situation out. And at the end of the day, it's just like I say, it's a whole lot of he say, she say. And I really feel like it's a whole lot of instigating that was going on, what led up to the situation to happen. I also had shared a post wherein the little girl was saying some things that I disapproved of that my daughter sent me that I ended up removing because the aunt ended up talking to me and was stating to me that the little girl was scared. She was getting a whole lot of backlash. A lot of people was making threats to her. And granted, I don't want that for anybody. I don't wish none of that on my worst enemy. I'm not that kind of person. Even though the situation went totally ugly, I'm still not that kind of person because at the end of the day, I got to be humble. I can't just be out here just being crazy in the head and just crashing out over a situation that is really now is beyond my control because what happened, and what was done was done. But I hate that it happened. Me and the aunt basically came to some type of understanding where we was able to retain your daughter. So when we get on the phone, she explained to me who the dad was of the little girl. I talked, you know, like two adults about the situation. However, due to my platforms and the responses that's coming back, it's kind of making them feel like they got to come at me based off of what's going on and what's being said in my comments. Which, like I explained, you know, I don't condone any of that. I'm not entertaining anything that is negative. I'm just stating what was given to me and what was told to me, and that's it. I hate the situation went like it did. I wish that, you know, we all could have just talked like civilized adults, but at this point, it's like a whole lot had been said that shouldn't even been said. Like I feel like everybody should have played an adult role in the situation. I felt like, you know, the mother was coming for me based off of the information that I provided, but I only provided the information that I received. But because she was monitoring my page and reading the comments, it's a whole lot of back and forth, and it's a whole lot of stuff that I really don't got time for. Like, I'm not finna get into no type of drama based off of the situation. I can't let the situation get the best of me. Only thing I can do right now is move forward. And that's just me being the bigger person. That's me being a parent. A lot of people stating, you know, oh, I did this, I do this, I do that. At the end of the day, I can't get myself in trouble. I can't afford it. I have to have a mindset and I have to do what's right. And the best thing that I could do, what is right, is pretty much handle the situation by protocol.
Okay, she was talking 100 miles an hour, and I really didn't find any resolution to any of the stuff that she was saying. Why? First of all, it sounds like her daughter is problematic. Okay, it sounds like her daughter is also problematic, not just the other kids, but her daughter. She said when the woman was telling her what happened and her daughter was telling her what happened, she didn't know who to believe. Well, she must feel that her daughter is a liar. And her daughter's already going to alternative schools, so it seems like she's a problem. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know what all the purpose of all that was, because it doesn't sound like they got anything resolved. And the bottom line is your daughter still got snatched bald-headed. So what's the point? What's the point? Timex Love said talking loud, saying nothing. Exactly. So, Black people, can y'all please just stop putting all your business on the internet? Can y'all please stop? Don't y'all have friends y'all can talk to that you can call on the phone? Don't y'all have relatives? Don't y'all have a counselor, a therapist, or somebody? Don't y'all have somebody y'all can talk to? Black people, I need you all to stay off the internet telling people your business. Okay? That's what y'all need to do. All right? But hold on, because here's another one. Now, this right here was just pure D sad. Let's talk about it. If any of you all are renting homes or renting properties to people, if they do this to your property, please go call the police. Please go and take out a warrant on them for vandalism. Okay? This is all crazy.
You to leave because you did not pay your rent. I asked you to leave my house. I wasn't evicting you. I didn't want to even put an eviction on your record. I just asked you to leave my house and you do this shit? Like, because I asked you to leave my house and you wouldn't leave, talking about, Timmy, you gonna have to take me to court? You do all this though? Like, I ain't never did shit to you, never. I gave your bitch ass a place to live when nobody else will give you a place to live. And you tear my shit up. Ain't no scam, bitch, because ain't no insurance on this motherfucker. This is gonna come out my pocket, bitch. You gotta have insurance to pull a scam, dumb bitch. Like, you did this shit to me because I asked you to pay me my money? I work hard every motherfucking day. I go to work and stay the fuck out the way. I don't bother no motherfucking body. I didn't care if you and your nigga was in this bitch selling drugs, doing whatever the fuck you was doing. I didn't give a fuck. I told you, long as you keep my house up and pay me my rent, I wasn't gonna fuck with y'all. Ain't no landlord doing that shit. Because I know y'all gotta feed y'all family like I gotta feed mine, bitch. This what the fuck y'all do to people? I swear to God on my mama, bitch, if I see you, I'm going to prison. And that's on my kids. I'll shoot you dead in your motherfucking face, bitch. I'm mad as a motherfucker. I'd kill this bitch if I seen her. On my soul, I would. I'm mad as fuck. My motherfucking tenants called me and asked me for $2,000, and I give it to him. Like this, I'm not that type of motherfucker. This is fucked up. This bitch bogus. This, bro.
That's a darn shame. That is a darn shame. All because he told them to pay their rent? Do y'all see this? This is the trash that people do to your property, honey. Honey, they'd be in jail. They would be in jail fooling with me because I would have absolutely called the police on them. Okay? I would have absolutely had them arrested for vandalism. What in the world? Sosa said, this is what happens to good people trying to help ungrateful people. Yep, that's why I don't fool with ungrateful people. As soon as I find out you're ungrateful, your ass is out of here. That's just where it is. Leo said, I can never. I can't either, beloved. Rod Bree said, pure madness. Okay? This is all crazy. Now, mind you, he said he would shoot her in her face, but I'm quite sure he said that just out of anger. I'm sure he didn't mean it because Lord knows it definitely isn't worth all that. Okay, that's the same thing I told that man in New York when he slapped my phone out of my hand and tried to break it. I told him the same thing, knowing good and well I didn't even have my gun on me. Please pay attention. Please pay attention, okay? I didn't even have my gun anywhere around my vicinity, honey. Sitting there talking about what I'm gonna do. Anyway, with that all being said, Najara said, take them to housing court. Well, do major laughing at me. Don't laugh, honey, because I was so serious when I said it, but clearly not because I didn't even have anything. Okay? Ooh, but that is sad though. And then you see how they threw the paint on the floor, broken windows, doors taken off the hinges. The crazy bitch Eric said the queen said it. Mm-hmm. Timex Love said, you didn't see the video of 3 women trashing another black woman's apartment? Typical. No. Why were they doing that? Huh? This is all just, let me tell you something. Somebody's going to get hurt. Okay? Like Booker T said, somebody's going to get hurt if they keep on playing. I mean, that was just pure low down and evil to tear up that man's place after he did nothing but give you a place to stay and you're mad. And he wasn't even going to put it on their rental history, but I would not only put it on their rental history, I would be suing them in court and I would also be pressing charges. You're going to pay in more ways than one. And then especially since he said he doesn't have insurance, honey, you have to be crazy to be renting out properties and not have insurance. Okay, Thomas Love said that's how disrespectful we are to each other. Absolutely. Mel said they did it to me and I took them to court and I won. I know that's right, honey, please. Just disrespectful and low down. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, beloveds, listen. If y'all need mental health treatment, please make sure you're getting it, because I do not need to see any of you all coming on here crashing out on the internet like Tamar is doing. This is really sad. Okay, it really is. Nobody's talking to her, and then she comes out talking about there's no more album, and I'm going to a farm, and y'all never going to see me again. And then comes back, oh, I was just being sarcastic. Girl, sit down somewhere. You knew you were lying when you said it. You just wanted attention, and you got it in all the negative ways. Okay, and then sitting there talking about she didn't know that people were saying all those things about Funky Dineva and accusing Funky Dineva. Now, I'm one to talk because I was actually thinking Funky Dineva may have done something too at the time. But that's beside the point. The point of the matter is she knew that we were saying stuff and saying that maybe, you know, we didn't put it past him. But she didn't come out and say anything, talk about she was in hospital recuperating. While she was in the hospital, she was also posting to social media, okay, daily. She was actually posting to social media. So I'm sure she saw what was being said about him, and she just didn't give a darn. Okay? Just didn't give a darn. And that whole thing about her and Mendices messing around, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Look at Yandy and look at Tamar. I mean, come on. All right? I'm sorry. It's not even adding up. Okay? And I'm sure that Mendices, as well as the rest of us, knows that Tamar is nothing but a drama queen. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Now I will see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got